Welcome to another Landlord Spotlight. My name is Samantha, and I'm on the education and community team here at TurboTenant. And joining me today is Rojan from California.
Hi,
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Really excited to be here, and I am a hardcore promoter of TurboTenant, so really love what you guys are doing.
Awesome. We love a hype lady. It's great. So I've got a few questions for you about your landlord journey and your journey in real estate and how you're using TurboTenant. So let's just jump right in.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. So first off, can you tell me a little bit about how you got into landlording and your rental?
Yeah, sure. So I have one rental property right now, and it's actually my family's property that I am just managing. My mom is an immigrant, and so am I. So real estate has always kind of been like, like come to America, buy real estate. It's like the American dream. So it's been important definitely in our family. And luckily in 2012, she was able to buy a condo. And then more recently, she wanted to just change it up a little and was able to buy her second property. And we were kind of going back and forth of like, should we keep the original condo? Should we sell it? Should we rent it out? We don't really know how to rent it out. But obviously it's better to have like more real estate, I would say, in this country. So we made the decision to keep the original condo, and I just started managing it. So that's kind of my side hustle a little bit right now.
Awesome. So landlording is your side hustle. What is your full-time career?
My full-time job is I work in tech as a product marketing manager. But I've always definitely had a passion for real estate, and I feel very lucky to be able to pursue it now and learn more about it because I think it's a really fascinating industry.
Yeah. And so you're in tech. TurboTenant is tech. How
Yes.
do you feel about TurboTenant having your experience in your career?
Yeah, I started my career in consulting, so I kind of went company to company a lot. And then I have switched a handful of jobs since then too. I will say it is very hard to find good software out there. And TurboTenant blows my mind that you guys with only 50 people have such a amazing product that has a lot of the core functionality and tools that we like landlords need to do the basics of like what we need, but also the things that like we that are like nice to have that just make our life easier. Like you can buy a bunch of different forms that you might need to do an inspection or a walkthrough on your house or sign a lease, like things like that. You guys just make it so easy, and the UI is just so amazing. And I know from experience, it's very hard to find. So thank you guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. We had you in mind when we built it. So I'm happy that it's working out for you.
Awesome.
And sort of talking about the forms and checklists, when you were searching for property management software, like how did you decide on TurboTenant? What features were important to you other than the awesome form stack?
Yeah. Well, I will say again, like this was all very new to me. The only experience I really had was watching my boyfriend manage his properties. He has 4 of them, but he does use a property manager. And I kind of knew a little bit from the beginning, even though I didn't really know what I was doing because it was just one rental and it was very close to our house. And we also had lived there for 10 years. I wanted to take on the challenge and do it myself. So I just started Googling in a lot of forums on Reddit or Bigger Pockets about like what are other people using, because I knew people would manage properties themselves. I asked one of my coworkers at the time too. She says she just like Venmos, like she gets her rent through Venmo, but I kind of knew I wanted to do something more official just in case, there were complications or you need to evict someone. I wanted to have like a track record. So once I started searching, I somehow came across TurboTenant because somebody said that they had been using you guys for like 7 years and it was really easy to use. So I looked into it, went on your website, And I was shocked that it was like free basically for the landlord. Because I thought it was going to be like $200 a month or something like that, but really appreciated that it was so fast to sign up, and really the UI makes it so easy to kind of like follow along at the different stages of managing your rental. And it just takes you through the flow.
Awesome. So you love the landlord portal, we've got the forms, we're doing the screening, the marketing. Did you use the marketing and screening features?
Yeah, I definitely did. I would say I got most of my kind of hits through Facebook though. But I would always direct people on my Facebook link to go and fill out the pre-screening form on TurboTenant. And I think I remember it took me like a month and a half to find tenants, not because of the lack of interest, but just because I knew that I really wanted to not like be iffy on the requirements that we had in place. You know, you need to make 2.5 times the income. Your credit needs to be above, like, I think we said 700-ish or 650 or something like that. So that process just took a bit of time, like finding someone that met all of the requirements and was an effective communicator and seemed like, stable in their career and everything like that.
Cool. Are there any other educational resources that you've used from TurboTenant outside of just the landlord portal for managing?
Yeah, you guys recently hosted a webinar about how to kind of manage like your taxes and things like that. I attended that and like learned so much. I was constantly taking notes. And then because it's our first year going through this process, so I really appreciated like the free educational resources that were out there. I will also sometimes read the blogs that come through. But that webinar was really helpful for me in like navigating the tax world of real estate. And I was able to find, luckily, a new tax person who is equipped in and knowledgeable about all of the different terms that they were teaching in that webinar. So it was really awesome. I liked it so much that I ended up reaching out to the CEO and just saying, thank you so much for TurboTenant, because it's made my life as a first-time landlord so much easier. And I never thought he would really reply, honestly, but he did reply. And he was really appreciative and said he would send the feedback back to the team. So I really love what you guys are doing.
Awesome. Thank you for saying that. And I'll definitely let Seamus know that he did a great job in responding to you. So since being a landlord, have you had any, outside of TurboTenant's awesome education, have you had any learning opportunities over the course of your landlord experience?
In terms of like, what have I learned, or more so what resources?
Yeah. So is there anything interesting, any anecdotal learnings or opportunities that you've come across in your landlord journey?
Yeah, I would say one anecdote before I even personally became a landlord was like watching my boyfriend go through his landlord journey, because unfortunately during the pandemic, when it first hit, one of his properties ended up becoming vacant, and the tenant didn't tell anyone that she was leaving. So a squatter actually came in almost for a whole year. And at that time,
Wow.
you couldn't evict anybody. So he was just losing a lot of money. God knew who was in his property, and getting that person out was really, really difficult. So just watching him go through that made me extra cautious in my landlord journey, which is why I wanted to be, really strict with the income requirements, with the credit check, with the background check. TurboTenant makes all of that stuff really easy for us to do, like in I think 30 seconds or 1 minute, like you get their background check, which is crazy. But you see like everything you really need to know about that person's credit history, which gives you more confidence, because at the end of the day, especially with this property that me and my mom have, like, it was our home, so it is sentimental to us. It's not just a random, property that we bought somewhere. So we wanted to make sure that the people that were in it would take care of it, would, pay rent on time, and like we wanted it to be their home as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've got this property that you're managing for your mom.
Mhm.
You shared with me earlier you're in California, which is a great market for real estate. What are
Mhm.
your goals for your rental empire over the next year and into the future?
Yeah, that's a good question. I will say, like, this whole experience really opened the door for me and kind of opened my eyes into all of the honestly endless possibilities that are out there for real estate. Oh, you also mentioned about resources. A book that I read a while ago that really got me knowledgeable about this as well was Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think that really, especially for people like, in their 20s when you're kind of just starting out your career, I think it's important to be like aware of real estate and and your empire that you could create in the future. Because I think for a lot of people, if you don't have parents that do that or some kind of mentor that does that, it's almost this thing that is like unattainable or, scary to you. And I think for me personally, for like, because I went through this experience, I want to learn more about it now, and it is less and less scary. So for my real estate empire, I'd love to maybe this year, maybe next year, buy some kind of quadplex or duplex or something, because I really want to buy a property for myself so I can stop renting, but also buy rental properties. And it seems like a duplex or a quadplex would be a great way to do that, because I could just live in one and then rent out the rest. So hopefully one day we will get there.
Awesome. And then when you do get there, you can just add those properties to your TurboTenant profile and just go
Exactly.
from there.
Yeah,
Your
so
premium plan.
easy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your premium
never
plan
getting
is
a property
awesome.
manager.
Awesome. I love that tagline. Never getting a property manager. Well, thanks so much for talking with me today. And I appreciate your time and so happy that you are so happy with TurboTenant. And we'll chat with you again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.